Hello everyone, Wallaceman105 here, back with another episode of Rail Tech. Today, I'll be showing you 3 of the cheapest single-track minecart intersections. I've got 3 builds to showcase here today, and all of today's builds use the same principle to function. Redstone torch under your corner rail, with redstone lines into the block the torch is on, power and unpower those lines, and boom, you pick your direction. For smoother operation, we'll also be including detector rails near your exits so players exiting can move more smoothly. So let's get right into it with our first build, a single track T-Junction. You can see that this is basically just a scaled up version of the old school T-Junction there. And if we go over here and check out the materials, you'll see just how extremely cheap this setup is. And that's going to remain a theme for the next 2 as well. To start this build, we'll begin with our T-switch and redstone torch. Then we're going to go out 3 blocks from here with redstone dust. We're going to go up above this last one. We're going to place a top half slab. Then we're going to build out rails like so with a detector rail, 2 powered rails, and a regular one. Then we're going to place blocks on either side of this uphill one with buttons on top. And this next step will change based on what direction your rails are coming in from. If your rail points to the right by default, then you're going to come over here to the left side, go out and up one with redstone dust, and that's it. The left button will make you point left, the right button will keep you going right. To finish this build, you just repeat this on the other 2 sides. If while you're testing this build, you realize that the buttons you've placed don't quite corroborate to the direction you want to go, just come down here, break the dust and block you placed, come around to the other side, and build it there. Now when you run the cart through, the right button should go right, and the left button should go left. Or at least, straight. And ta-da! You've got yourself a functional junction. If you need 4 rails to meet together, your first option is our second build, the offset double T-Junction. You may recognize this as the switch without a pretty name from episode 4. Coming over to our chest, you can see that our materials list is once again very cheap, just increasing the quantities from the previous one. For this build, we're going to start with our switches set up with 4 blocks of space in between the torches below them. And next, we will basically build the exact same module we did for the last one. So that's going to be 3 redstone dust out, then up and over, block up like that, block there, and here, a top half slab there, block here, block there, fill in detector, 2 powered rails, regular, button, and we've got it. Now what we need to do is just go ahead and repeat this pattern out on all of these sides here, again, leaving the middle open for now. Remember, when you're building these modules, if the button directions don't line up with the actions the way you want them to, just come on down here, break and replace this block that goes up and its redstone dust on the other side, and you'll be right as rain. Now that we have our 4 modules in place, we just need to build the connection. So we're going to come out down here, we're going to place these slabs with powered rails on top, and we're going to connect the 2 torches with a line of redstone. Then we're going to come out and up 1, redstone dust, block up here, block over here, buttons on them, and you'll see that when we place these, it's actually going to control both switches so that this will work in both directions nice and cheap. If you want to spend the extra pixels, you can put blocks on both sides like this with extra buttons so your players don't have to crane their necks depending on which direction they're going into. But that is this build all done and dusted. So it's time to move on. Now, our final build today may look a little bit intimidating, but it's really just a big old softy. This is a single track 4-way roundabout. If we come over here and look at the materials, that will go ahead and tell you that this tech is not as intimidating as it may appear. We're going to start out with our switch layout here, and then we'll go down here to place torches below our corner rails, like so. Next up, come back up top and check your rails. What you're going to want to look for is you want all of your rails to form this kind of J shape here. However, you're going to notice that 2 of them won't. That's going to be the southwest and southeast corners, pretty much every time due to the southeast rule. So what we'll do here is go to the side of these torches under those blocks. We're going to place torches down here on the sides of these blocks, break these torches, and replace them on these sides. This is going to invert the signal, and now when we come back here, we see we have our quadruple J. Now, for the controls, we're going to bring redstone dust lines out from these 2 blocks. We're going to go 3 out and 1 over for the one on the left, and just 4 straight out on the right. Then we're going to go up from each one, like so, with more redstone dust, blocks above those, buttons on top of those blocks, and we're going to add 1 more block here with just redstone dust. Then we're going to come out here, and we're going to fill out our rails. Again, we're going to want to use half slabs, powered rails, detector rail. Come out another block with a rail on top of that. Now, believe it or not, this whole setup is actually everything. So we just need to repeat that on the other 3 sides. So again, that's 3 blocks out, 1 over, and then up. 4 blocks out, and then up and over 1, with redstone dust all along those. Blocks on top of those with buttons. Come out 1 more with another block and button. Block, top slabs, rails, block, rail. Once you have all 4 control sides built, simply go into the middle here, place a block with a lever, flick it on, and your roundabout is fully functional. If I go ahead and press these buttons here, you can see that each one will take us into one of the 3 directions we're trying to go, and our carts are off. For optional style points, you can use magenta glazed terracotta to indicate which direction your different buttons will take the cart. Or you could also use colored wool or signs or banners, but again, this is purely optional. If you know where you're going, you don't need it. That wraps up today's episode of Rail Tech on the cheapest single-track intersections in Minecraft. I'm pumped to be making tutorials again, so please throw any feedback and any requests into the comments down below. Until next time, guys, I'm Wallace. I hope you learned something, and remember to take it easy.